Hi, hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Today I want to touch on this news, right? Visa CEO breaks with big banks on the need for faster payments. So this is significant because the CEO of Visa, L. Kelly, he actually saying, right, why does consumer need such a fast payment? Why do they need real-time payments, right? Does the consumer really needs the fast that much faster? This is the point I want to make, right? Now, basically, it seems that, right, by saying this, and his reasoning is because, right, by such fast payment, it is very hard to actually have a chargeback. That means if there's a dispute, it is very hard to have a, revert back your payment. That's what his argument is. Now, my view is that, right, this is really like saying, right, imagine a horse cart owner saying to, someone who has a car, right? They're saying, why do you need a road? Why do you need a well-tarred road? Why do you need a car on a well-tarred road that can travel much faster while the horse can move you just fine from point A to point B? It's exactly like saying that, right? Now, the thing is this, when the world are advancing, right, and if you are not advancing, you are basically being left behind. Doing nothing is an option, yes, but it also means that if everyone is advancing, you will be just left behind, right? You will be the slow tortoise, yeah? And it's not always that slow tortoise will win the race. If you don't advance, you will never win the race as well. And meanwhile, it is of course good for someone like, such an established payment company saying something like this that just shows that they are they deem themselves too big to fail. That's why they can say things like this, right? To basically ignore advances in other fields at their own peril, right? They basically think that, yeah, they are already giants in their field, that even their rival MasterCard is always not up to their mark, right? And so they do not need to give advanced technology like Ripple, right, XRP, or even other Lightning Network and cryptocurrency such a big hit, such a big care or bother. They do not need, because they do see that, right, they are too big to fail, that they are the giant, they are dominating in this field now, right? And they will see always as a need because of the meaning they say, because they are the centralized party and they can ensure a chargeback. Now, for all this convenience, right, for all this chargeback, they are charging like 3 to 4%, and the processing time of them giving you the money, especially if you operate online commerce, they take about few days to actually give you back the money. And on top of that, they have the right at just a snap of the finger to cut you off from the payment system just like that, yeah? And why do you say we don't need a fast payment, right? Ask people who are doing remittances to their families back home. Now we are talking about, right, or at least a 7 days, right, or 5 days, 5 to 7 days kind of turnaround time for money to reach their families, especially if you're talking about, let's say, Africa or even advanced country like Canada, US, to places like Philippines. All these countries will take that long, right? While money for the people who need it most, their migrants, families, all this age money count, because most of them are living paycheck to paycheck of their loved ones working overseas, right? Now, if they do not need such dire for money, why do they need to work so far away from their families? And that is why money is very important to them, right? And that is why they're willing to they're willing to give up all this time, and proximity with their families just for that money. And of course, money from these workers is important to their families. After all, they are earning very little, and any little money and time is of the essence, especially if someone is sick at home, right? All this make a difference, right? And that's why time is of the essence, right? But regardless, yeah. But of course, the plus point is that with a Visa CEO openly saying this, and it's published in Bloomberg, also tells you something, right? That what is in the minds of all these giant CEO, that basically they still think that cryptocurrency is something that they can ignore, that it will have no expense at all to them. And in a way, that is still good for the cryptocurrency world, I think, right? Because ignore all you can, and this is exactly what we need to continue doing. People in the crypto world just need to continue to move forward, continue to lay low and just work on getting out products which are very easy to use but very, very user friendly, speedy, right? And then people will come. That's how actually Apple was, iPhone, all this was conceived, right? It doesn't ask the people what they need, but rather he think, right? Steve Jobs think, what is the ideal version of something that is so friendly to the consumer that they cannot live without. And then iPhone is introduced, and by then only people flock to it, because then they realize this is such a great thing that they cannot live without, right? So same thing with XRP and versus Visa now, right? Yeah. So that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed this. Leave a like, subscribe, right, if you do, and speak to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.